Fantasy VII Remake to match exactly what it was like in the original.
I saw that. It doesn't solve any of my problems with the gameplay, but it looked really neat.
No. Yeah, I know. Yeah. It's cool. So now, like, this was like practically the only reason that I got a PS5 was to play this game. Because I know it's not great, but I don't know. But anyway, I haven't bought it. I'm reluctant to. I'll probably wait till my next paycheck because I'm like, God damn it! I just spent all this money on a PS5 and don't have any games. No, I did spring for the PS Plus or whatever it's called.
Okay, so you can play like whatever the free titles are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I could play something. I'm sure I will. But it's like all even the free titles I'm looking at, I'm like, I don't want to play any of these games.
Yeah. I know. That was actually, PS Plus was way better back in the PS3. I actually had it for a year. And, well, one, because of the network breaches, they were like, oh, well, here, have a free game. And that's how I got the original Little Big Planet, because I had gotten 2, but I never played the original. I was like, oh, well, it's free. Let me pick that up. And that one you got to keep forever, even if your PS Plus went away. But, like, they had things like the Simpsons Arcade was on PS Plus, and there was all kinds of different games I used to play through that, and it was cool. But I look at it now, it's like, why would I even pay for it? All this stuff looks like crap.
They've, like, separated it out into a different service. There's the PS Now thing now.
Which is like the streaming service.
Yeah, but like that's where all of the sort of old games are.
Yeah.
That you can play for free.
Well, because it's also smaller, so it's easier to stream with very low data. Back in PS3, PS Now didn't exist yet, but also it was like the equivalent of a virtual console thing. You actually had to install it onto your device. But it's stupid. So it still had like a license reader. So after your Plus expired, it would be installed on your device, but your device wouldn't let you play it. And like, well, why don't you, instead of have like a license reader, just have like an auto delete mechanism in there, so if your Plus runs out, it just deletes these, so they're not taking up space for you or anything like that. Like, it's a really stupid system to begin with.
Yeah, so now PS Plus just has the newer games, but much fewer of them, and only like one a month, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Now, if you get the free game of that month, you get to keep it forever?
If it works the same way it used to, you get to keep it until your subscription runs out. So if you keep renewing it,
you have to keep paying.
Yeah. This is why the Xbox, whatever it's called now, Game Pass. The Game Pass is much better because Game Pass, it just gives you access to the whole Game Pass library while you're paying for it. You do lose it if your Game Pass runs out, but you can just renew Game Pass and the whole library is yours again.
See, what sucks is that I can't go back and get free games of the month from past months.
Nope.
Right? Which Final Fantasy VII Retrograde or whatever it's called, Intergrade, was one of them, I think, in a past month last year.
Maybe, yeah. So Xbox is trying to not be exploitative intentionally because Phil Spencer himself does play video games and he understands how gamers operate. And he's said time and time again, too, like he'll even point out, like, these are decisions that our executives want to do, but I have been pushing back against them because basically his mindset is the same as like similar to the old Nintendo mindset, or like basically any company that has been around for a really long time or anybody who's learned old business, where they're looking for sustainability. And sustainability is having a customer base that is loyal to you, wants to keep coming back because you're doing a good job. Modern economics, though, for companies that were either formed like after the 50s boom and in that like mindset of like how you do economics now, is all about growth. If we grow, we put everything back into the company so it grows more, which instead of creating a stable pyramid, just creates a Jenga tower that is likely to implode on itself if you ever stop growing.
Yeah.
So Spencer's has more of that old, we need a stable consumer base mindset, while Sony is just like, no, see, if we put everything under time restrictions, then we force people to have to be subscribed all the time.
Yeah.
Which then takes people like me, is like, well, that makes me never want to subscribe.
Yeah. GMT says next month the free game is Last of Us 2. Yay.
Yeah. That's always funny too. They like announce.
I never played the first.
Yeah. No, they announce what the free game is going to be almost a month in advance because of that too. Because they're like, oh, better subscribe now so you don't miss the game for next month. I fucking hate Sony so much.
I don't even know what the game is this month, but whatever it was.
Probably Dog Shit Simulator or something like that.
Yeah. What do you think of Persona 5? Is that interesting? I feel like that was on there.
Persona 5 is pretty interesting. If you like turn-based RPGs, so you'd probably like Persona as a franchise.
Yeah.
To me, it's one of the least interesting Personas. Probably still beating out 1 because Persona 1 is a very rough game. But it's kind of like, it's a watered-down version of 4 in many ways. Which was also a watered-down version of 3. It's been taking the same route of a lot of things where it's kind of like watering down its own gameplay. Mostly because they found out the thing that sells, so I don't blame them for this. The social link aspect of Persona is what draws most people to it, which is kind of the dating sim aspect of Persona.
Yeah.
And 5 is more social link than ever before, so the actual RPG side suffers a little bit. But also not, I mean, the social link is kind of RPG in a more classic way, so I don't hate it. It's just the mechanics for combat suck. But basically, Persona is split from the Shin Megami Tensei series, right? Your SMT,
Yeah.
right? The originals were even called Shin Megami Tensei Persona and Shin Megami Tensei Persona 2. By 3, they dropped the SMT part and just call it Persona 3, Persona 4, and Persona 5. And it is more character-based, because in SMT, it's usually one person, and you're, like, recruiting monsters to fight with you. So it's kind of like a Pokemon-like game in a way, but older than Pokemon. And you get these demons, you could sacrifice them, and create bigger demons in SMT. So that's kind of how you play it. It's about recruitment. In Persona, there's an actual like anime-esque cast to it with a protagonist and like his friends, and you build up those characters, and they have personas which are like the demons instead, and their personas fight in battle, right? So they're like JoJo stands. And the main character is like usually the wild card, so being similar to the SMT protagonist, you could get a bunch of different personas for the main character and just have one equipped at the time. And once you get to that point, it's kind of just traditional turn-based RPG combat. SMT is like grueling RPG combat where you can grind for 10 hours and then something in the area you're in can still crit you and kill you anyway. Persona is more like casual Final Fantasy-esque combat, where it's like, if you go in under level, you can have a challenge. If you go in exact level, it's going to be fair. And if you go in over leveled, you can kind of just like sweep the boss.
Yeah. Well, apparently one of the games of the month, which is not the same as what you were just talking about, is Persona 5 Strikers.
Oh, yeah. So Persona 5 has a lot of spin-off games to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a Dynasty Warriors crossover.
Yeah. But it's still Persona 5. It just does it in the Dynasty Warrior style instead of the Persona style.
Yeah. So that might be interesting. Maybe I'll check that out. I mean, I've got it. I might as well check it out.
Yeah. Though I know you enjoyed Hyrule Warriors and stuff. I think you'd probably like the normal Persona more than Strikers, but still worth checking out. I actually really like the SMT series. It was a weird series, though, right? Because most of the stuff that people like from it now are spin-offs of spin-offs of spin-offs, right? Because originally the series was just empty. It was Megami Tensei, right? Which is like, I think it means holy goddess or something or something like that, right? And then the series gets rebooted at a certain point, like a soft reboot, which is Shin Megami Tensei, which is like true holy goddess or something like that. And that goes on for a while, but then you get spin-offs of Shin Megami Tensei like Persona, and that becomes its own series. And then Persona has its own spin-offs, not even just Strikers. There's a really popular game called Catherine that a lot of people have seen that they don't even know is a spin-off of Persona 3, which is a spin-off of Shin Megami Tensei, which is a reboot of Megami Tensei. We're a few derivations away by this point.
Yeah.
And then there was a remake to Catherine.
It never ends.
Yeah, we're running around in Jim Henson's labyrinth at this point.
Well, and I saw...
It did come out before Pokemon, yeah. Shin Megami Tensei is pretty old.
Yeah. And like Shin Megami Tensei 5 is like, which is the most recent one, as far as I know, is the only one I've ever actually seen gameplay of. Like, I never heard anything about any of the previous ones.
You know what? You'd enjoy streaming this if it wasn't for the fact that your stream plate is full as it is trying to catch up on games. But they did a remake of the best in the entire series, Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne. And that's on the Switch. Great, beautiful HD remake of the game. Actually still uses the combat style from the original game, unlike most of these remakes that completely change everything, while also still adding some stuff to it. Definitely worth picking up, I suggest. You'd enjoy playing that game. You'd get frustrated as fuck at it, but you'd enjoy playing it.
Sounds good. Sounds like Final Fantasy V.
Final Fantasy V is a cakewalk compared to SMT.
Yeah. I enjoyed it, but I got frustrated as fuck.
Yeah. I would say Final Fantasy II is a cakewalk compared to SMT games, but SMT games are made better and are more fair.
Mm-hmm.
But again, you could still get crit and die when you're even slightly over leveled for an area. So
yeah. And I'm looking at I'm looking at the PS5 store. You know what? The first thing that came up, oddly enough, or one of the first things came up was Final Fantasy 15 Royal Edition. Ooh, Royal Edition. Is that different?
Royal Edition is the Windows Edition. But Windows Edition is just the Windows version of Royal Edition. They're exactly the same thing. It's basically the all content is included Game of the Year edition. I
see. Well, in that case, I already own it.
Yeah, you already own it. There's no difference between the two.
Yeah, because I have the Windows Edition.
Royal Edition came with Comrades and all of the DLC installed in it, but Windows Edition has all that too. Yeah.
I'm glad I didn't buy it. I wasn't going to anyway. I haven't even gotten around to playing the Windows version. Except for like the first 5 minutes.
Because the Windows version has all of these different graphic adaptations and qualities and stuff that were put into it for different graphics cards, so it can run well on like almost any system that's strong enough to play it, obviously. But it runs better on the PC than it does on PlayStation. And it has mod capacity built into it on the Windows Edition. So, you can do whatever you want on that.
Well, now I'm actually looking forward to Chaos!
Yeah.
Final Fantasy Origins or whatever it's called.
Yeah. Stranger in Paradise, Final Fantasy Origins. I'm looking forward to it too. It might be a while till I get to play it, but I'm definitely looking forward to it.
Chaos!
Must
Coming for you. Boy, people kind of forgot about that. It's been a while since.
Oh, I didn't.
The initial.
I've been. I've been rewatching.
Is that coming out this year?
Too. I think so. Recently, we were supposed to talk about it, and we never did because it was one of those times that like you overslept or whatever. Recently, they put up a website for the anniversary of the original Final Fantasy because it was like a couple weeks ago or whatever, and they were showing all of these like one-to-one comparisons. They even had a video on the website showing the iconic bridge scene, right? So in the original Final Fantasy, the prologue was kind of just an image of them standing on the other side of the bridge, and you see Cornelia on the distance, right?
Yeah, that iconic bridge scene. For a second there, I thought you were talking about the... No. I thought you were talking about Gilgamesh or whatever.
No, it's 5. We're talking about
that's what I was thinking. Yeah. I know.
Yeah. So the prologue, they are on the other side of the bridge, the north bridge of Cornelia, and you can see Cornelia in the distance, and then the text scrolls on the screen, and that while the Final Fantasy music plays. In this version, it actually... They made this really ornate bridge. They even got some of the older concept artists to come in and basically draw what they imagine the bridge look like so they can make a 3D model based on the bridge. No, Joshua, not the iconic PewDiePie bridge scene where he said a gamer.
Did you want to do the show intro anytime soon?
I don't know if I want to. I don't know. I think
okay.
I don't know.
We're over it. We're over it.
We started talking about RPGs. We're past it. Welcome to the show. But yeah, they're like walking across this really like well-designed bridge that's supposed to like match the aesthetic of Cornelia, and they have like a narrator actually saying word for word the prologue from the original game while they're walking across it, and it ends with them on the other side facing everything, like the Cornelia in the distance. They said they even had to like remap the area just for that scene because it wouldn't look just right if Cornelia was like the distance from the bridge that it should have been because of like the extreme perspective. And I don't know, they were showing, like, talking about, like, the inspiration for the game. They were talking to some of the old designers of the original game and stuff, too. And kind of hyped for this thing. Kind of hyped. We've got characters designed that didn't even have character art for them originally. Like, the King of Cornelia is fully designed. The Queen and Princess Jane are fully designed too, even though they were just like one-off NPCs walking around. Yeah, Princess Jane, which was Sarah's younger sister, that tells you like, please go help save her sister. She's like their first floor, I think, second room to the right, just in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, it's a one-off NPC, but like, if you've played the game enough, you know this character, even though she only has one line of dialogue. Because it's like one of the few named characters in the game. Has nothing to do with the game, like other than her sister got kidnapped. She doesn't give you anything. Yeah. There's no point to the existence of this character. But like, no, we're going to flesh them out. You can actually talk to these characters. You can spend time in Cornelia if you want. It's like, they're really just trying to flesh out the world. They said they're changing some things, though. And some of the changes I get. Like they said, the pirates are no longer going to be in the town. They own the town. They've ransacked the town. It's all very misty. It looks like an old English port town with the fog, like something like even like maybe a New England port town, something that like Lovecraft would write about, with dark and dreary. Yeah. And you have to go to the Pirates' Cove to fight them to get the ship. And it's just extending the sequence. And it makes sense. It's like, one, do you really want to fight in the middle of town where you might kill a bunch of people by accident? And like the pirates would spend all their time in town own and ransack, they would have some type of headquarters somewhere. It's like, okay, I'm fine with this change. As long as you still have the pirate sequence, you have to get to fight Bike this time instead of just like his 9 men and then he gives you his ship. Like, I'm fine with it.
But did they make Sarah part of the party? Princess Sarah?
No. I think her name is Neon, the character, the 4th character.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No. Sarah is kidnapped by Jack Garland.
Jack. Did he have a first name?
No.
I think in the original he was just Garland.
In fact, I think Garland was his given name. He was a knight of Cornelia.
And in this one, he's somehow related to the protagonist, right?
He might be the protagonist.
Maybe.
Time travel and
he
stuff.
He might be the protagonist.
But remember, the time travel was the shenanigan in the original Final Fantasy.
Well, yeah, but he was also there in the present.
Yes.
And you fight him.
Yes.
I guess you could be fighting yourself. I don't know.
You could be fighting yourself from another timeline.
Yeah. It's confusing.
He has amnesia, so he doesn't know. It'll be fun.
Well, looking forward. Now, is that supposed to come out this year?
I don't know. I think it's planned for this year.
Okay.
They didn't give an actual date.
I've seen some people being skeptical that Breath of the Wild 2 might not come out this year.
I've been skeptical about that, but I was assuming it was probably going to come out late spring was my original assumption back when we were talking a while ago.
Yeah. They would have announced that if that were the case. Still.
Yeah, I'm starting to be skeptical that it might even come out at all this year.
Oof.
Yeah, hopefully fall. I'm aiming for fall right now, but who knows?
What in the world is taking so long? Like they've already got, I thought, most of the physics done, which I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Seemed to be the major sticking point in the original, but what in the world is taking so long?
I'm sure there a lot of like restructuring that's been going on in Nintendo. I don't know if that has anything to do with it. I've only got a few assumptions.
Yeah. Well, Splatoon 3 is definitely coming out this year.
Yeah. That looks good. Mario Kart 9 is apparently speeding through progress. They made an announcement.
Yeah, I heard something about that.
Yeah.
Oh, that was today.
Yeah.
I watched a podcast where they mentioned it yesterday, but they weren't sure. So there was an announcement today.
Yeah, it was just, I think because a lot of people are talking about rumors, so they can't, there is a quote from today where they said that it's speeding through progress and there's going to be a twist. They didn't mention what the twist is, but there's going to be a twist.
Yeah. And the twist is...
I don't know. Actually, the funny thing is, last night, I didn't even know people were talking about it until I was reading about it today, right? But last night, my brother and I were just talking about, like, man, at this point, they might as well just scrap Mario Kart and just make it Super Smash Kart. And just add all the characters, right? Because they already have Link, they already got Inkling, they already got freaking Isabelle and Villager and stuff in there. It's like, just scrap it. Just scrap Mario Kart. You keep all the characters from Mario, like make them the predominance because they are your mascot. But just like make it Super Smash Kart. We're never getting an F-Zero again. Might as well throw Captain Falcon in there. You already put the Blue Falcon in it. Yeah. Just like put everyone in there. Star Fox, Olimar, I don't care. Everyone except Pokemon. Leave Pokemon out of it, leave Fire Emblem out of it. Right? I like Pokemon, they're your biggest seller, but like aside from putting the Pokemon trainer on a bicycle, what are you really gonna do to put them in a kart racing game? Right? Like I don't want Pikachu driving around in a cart. That's more ridiculous than like Yoshi riding around in a cart, you know?
They don't already have Pokemon as characters?
No.
Playable characters?
Not Mario Kart.
No, I guess I'm thinking of Smash Brothers.
Yeah. Like if you want to put the
Well,
Pokemon trainer on a bike or something, that's fine. I'm fine with that. But...
Yeah. Somebody's speculating that there may be damage and pit stops.
Ooh.
So
Well, that would be
that'd
cool if they extend the length of the courses, right?
Yeah.
Because Mario Kart tracks are so fucking fast. Like, to do 3 laps, you could do it in like 2 minutes. 2 to 3 minutes. That's how long a race lasts. And pit stops don't really work in a 2 to 3 minute race. Not very well.
Yeah.
But if we're going like longer, like, I don't know, if the races last anywhere between like 5 to 7 minutes, I could see 1 to 2 pit stops. If up to 10-minute races, I could see like up to 3 pit stops would probably be fine. If you're taking enough damage to require them. Which, with the number of items being flung around, I could easily see you taking enough damage to require them.
Yeah, maybe it's a different mode. Maybe they could have the regular kind of short tracks and then have more of an F1 mode with much longer tracks with pit stops and that sort of thing.
Yeah, we'll just have like a big version of Baby Park, which is basically like our one NASCAR track.
Yeah.
And they'll just go around in circles shooting each other.
Yeah. What do we think of a Smash Brothers movie? That sounds like a terrible idea.
Yeah, awful. Absolutely. I remember talking about this when the Detective Pikachu crew said they wanted to basically open up a Smash universe. I'm like, no, absolutely not. Smash Brothers is great the way it is as a fighting party game or party fighter game, whichever way you want to call it. It's both.
Yeah.
It's great that way. Just make more Pokemon movies. Not even a sequel to Detective Pikachu. Just make more movies in that world. It's a universe. It doesn't have to be like linear or straightforward or anything.
Yeah. Plus, I somehow doubt they could get all of the licenses together.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I think it's been kind of like pulling teeth to get the licenses to get all the characters into Smash Brothers to begin with.
I mean, if you rewound the clock and you were only dealing with Nintendo characters like the original, like 14.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It'd be easy to get Sonic in there because both Sega and the team have expressed being okay with a Smash, but that's like one character. Up to Brawl.
Yeah, it's too many.
It'd be easy to get Snake. You could probably go do stuff up to Brawl. It's after that it starts to become a problem.
There's too many characters. You wouldn't have enough time to do character development. You know.
Now,
think about it like
an anime.
Yeah, an ongoing anime.
That'd be
maybe
easy.
But yeah, think about how many characters are in, like Avengers movies, and it took them, 2 decades to like build up to having an ensemble movie. Yeah.
Speaking of something that should have been animated from the beginning, as we were talking before the show, there's an announcement that there is possibly, it's in pre-production now, so we don't know if it's actually going to make it to production, but possibly a Scott Pilgrim, cringe to say, anime, because that's what Netflix is calling them, animated series on Netflix. Which I'm actually kind of looking forward to, because even though it's on Netflix, as I've said plenty of times, you got to look at the production team, and the person who's the lead writer and showrunner is going to be Brian Lee O'Malley himself, the guy who created Scott Pilgrim. Though, take that for what it is. He also approved the Scott Pilgrim movie, so, but, I mean, there's a lot of problems with the movie. The movie was in production for so fucking long. Like, the original script was made after the first graphic novel came out, which is why it's like it follows the path, but it was mostly notes. And then it came out before the last one finished. So I think an animated series would follow it a lot more faithfully anyway, just because you have the time and also the whole series is done now. But yeah.
Is it going to be multiple seasons or?
I don't know. You could, I don't know if you could you maybe do 2 seasons out of it, unless you've watched to continue the story in animated form, which I'd also be fine with, as long as O'Malley is the one doing it, because then we get to see where the story would go after Scott and Ramona go through the door at the very end. But
I wonder if
like maybe 2 episodes a book I could see 12 episodes out of it easily. Like that'd be pretty easy. If you're really adding in license, and it's the original creator, so he can expand it as much as he wants, you could break down each chapter into an episode, but then that'd get really fucking long, because there's like 5 chapters in a book.
Yeah. But I wonder how people who've only seen the movie will react to anime based on the books.
Yeah. Well, most people have only seen the movie, haven't even read the graphic novels, which is why, like, when people are like, oh, Scott Pilgrim, so horrible, or whatever, blah, blah, which I enjoyed the movie, but it's not as good as the graphic novels. Like, you're comparing these characters to a hyper-condensed and altered version of the story. The graphic novel, actually, like, there's a lot of character development and stuff, and it's actually a really good story. But most people who complain about it have never even read the graphic novels. And even a lot of people who rave about it have never read the graphic novels. Like, you know, there's something better sitting out there. But yes, Vishozo, we are aware that there's going to be a live-action Pokemon show on Netflix. We talked about that, I don't know, like 6 months ago, whenever it was announced.
GMT has a good idea. From the makers of Detective Pikachu comes Car Mechanic Snorlax.
Car Mechanic Snorlax. Think about that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a profession and a Pokemon.
And a Pokemon, yeah.
Mashed
I would
together,
prefer Munchlax if I had to choose between the two. I feel like he'd make a much better mechanic. My problem is I don't think Snorlax could fit his huge claws inside the car to really work on anything. I don't know if you've ever seen how big Snorlax is, but he's a bear.
Yes, with very large, fat arms.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they should try it. See what happens. So what else is going on?
Yeah. I don't know, but I'm looking forward to Scott Pilgrim. It's always look at the production team. I might change my mind depending on who else hops on it later. But right now it seems like a good team. How would a Pokemon... See, Pokemon Colosseum was actually the thing I said if they were going to make a show, that's the one they should do. Especially because they're setting it in, like, Arizona, and that's where Pokemon Colosseum takes place. And I'm like, no, dude, this would be great. Just that should be the show. The whole plot of the show, just right there. Trying to take shadow Pokemon away from an evil organization. But I always find it weird, though, because if you're stealing Pokemon from the bad guys and keeping them for yourself, does that just make you like a second derivative bad guy? Because you're not returning it to the person they stole the Pokemon from. Think about it.
Yeah. I don't usually think about it.
Yeah.
I don't think that hard about Pokemon.
Okay. I do have other stuff up.
How would a Pokemon Colosseum movie work?
Yeah, that's what we were talking about. It was set in Arizona. That's where Pokemon Colosseum was, the Ore region. It'd be very easy to film. We were talking about that when we were talking about the show, but it's just like, still, in Pokemon Colosseum, there are shadow Pokemon. And the bad guys stole the Pokemon from them. And it's like, well, then you steal the Pokemon from them, but you don't give it back to the owner they stole it from. So you're not really a good guy. Yeah, you're just like, a second derivative bad guy.
Yeah.
But I mean, you're doing good.
No.
You're more like an anti-hero, I guess.
Yeah. Beat the bad guys, but then you get to keep the spoils.
Yeah. But you know what? They had
Essentially Team Rocket, but
a guy with a Pokeball afro for a haircut, so you know that made up for everything.
dude.
Yeah. Let's see. Most of this stuff, oh god. You want to just do a checklist here of like studios that are cool and studios that aren't? So,
Sure.
Previously we had Phil Spencer coming out saying no, Xbox is not getting into NFTs. Because that would, even though the executives keep pressuring me, we are not getting at NFTs. That would be bad for the consumer. We're not trying to exploit people, blah, blah, blah. It'd be bad for our brand. Recently, the CEO of Sega also says that they will not proceed with NFTs if they are perceived as simple money-making, like scams or whatever. So we got two cool studios right here. Sega, Microsoft aren't going down the NFT route because it's like, no, this is a fad. This is a marketing scam. They're just going to take money from people, blah, blah, blah. Now let's get into like, I have a whole list of like horrible companies that are like, hey, let's get into NFTs. So we already have Square down. We've been talking about how Square wants to get NFTs.
Yeah.
And the way it described it doesn't sound like the worst way. They're the least egregiable of the people jumping into it because the CEO was like, we're just trying to find ways that we can have in-community growth, right? So if people can have their own marketplaces and stuff like that, that's fine. I'm like, okay, I still think this is scummy, but it's the least scummy. GameStop has announced that they're getting into NFTs and cryptocurrency. And you know it's going to be scummy with them. Yeah. Oof.
Let me start over.
Yeah.
I wonder how that. Well, maybe how are they getting into How are they getting into NFTs?
Well, I know the cryptocurrency side. I think they've
for?
been saying they're going to start accepting cryptocurrency as payment in some facets. But as far as NFTs, they're pretty fucking vague on that. To be honest, maybe the fact that all these companies are getting into it, they're probably going to allow distribution of NFTs from these companies through them. That would make sense. If that's the case, I wouldn't actually blame GameStop for that because they are primarily a distribution network. But GameStop also has its own merchandise that it sells. ThinkGeek, I believe, is owned by GameStop. And they probably will start selling NFTs between their licensed materials and logoed stuff on their own, which that part I will blame them for.
Okay.
Yeah. So GameStop is on the list. That's number one of the people I trust the least out of everyone on this list. We also have.
But I mean, they're just selling. They're selling like artwork on OpenSea. Basically.
I have no. I think they're going to start distributing it themselves because GameStop is a marketplace. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. We also have Take-Two, specifically on the line of like Rockstar and GTA. But Take-Two has shared its thoughts. It's going to start dealing with NFTs as well. And EA has now jumped onto the train of being a big believer in NFTs and blockchain technology. Now, the blockchain part of all this, in general, I have no problem with video game companies, especially those who run their own marketplaces, run their own servers, have like online games. Grand Theft Auto Online would be perfect for blockchain as a form of receipt if you want to be able to trade items between each other, which could also open up for NFTs. Inherently, I don't have a problem with this. My problem is that most of these companies aren't using it for that stuff. They're looking more into how can we sell things that are otherwise utterly worthless to people for a large amount of money.
Are you ready for another company that's getting into NFTs?
Are you about to mention Konami? Because that was the next one on my list. Oh, you got another one. What do you got?
Have you ever heard of a little Discord bot called Me6?
Oh. Yes, I have. Based off of the character Meeseeks from Rick and Morty.
Yeah.
People use it for leveling and stuff like that in Discord. Are they getting into NFTs?
Me6 is getting into NFTs. They are selling their little, I guess they have characters or variations on a character, and they're going to be selling them on OpenSea. Just selling them, just making money.
Well,
so,
I have less of a problem with Me6 doing that than I do with these large corporations trying to do that stuff.
Yeah. I know of, I'm on at least one Discord that's like, that's it, we're getting rid of the Me6 bot. And I'm like, really?
Over that?
Yeah. But yeah, I found out about that yesterday. A server.
I was like, I'm not gonna.
A certain Discord server just kind of blew up. I mean, I was part of the blow up because I was like, really?
Yeah.
Really?
The counter blow up, but
yeah.
No, I was like, I'm not going to stop buying from these companies because they're getting into this shit. I'm just going to ridicule them and people who actually waste money on this shit. That's how you solve the problem, is through public shame and ridicule. Gamotron says, if NFTs mean I could wear my hat I bought in TF2 in another game like PUBG, then that's all I want. While on principle, that could work. Though that would be really hard because that would involve the dev coding the game to let that function in some way, which means you would have to let the model import to be able to rig on top of the character model. That's not how anybody's going to use it. What they'll do is they'll let you use that hat you bought in TF2 that you are going to pay for again as your avatar on Twitter. That's the most you're going to get out of it.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is with NFTs that I think a lot of people don't understand is that you're basically buying a pointer.
Yeah.
You're buying, it's like you're buying a barcode or your QR code. The actual asset that's connected to it, you're not going to be able to take that from one game to another unless those two games decide to cooperate with each other.
Yeah.
Because it's like you didn't actually buy a hat. You bought a pointer to a hat in a specific game.
Yeah. And it's like, it's a good equivalent that I always use is like you're at an art auction and you bought a piece of art. The NFT isn't the art you bought. The NFT is the receipt of authentication that comes with the art. It's like, this is the authentic piece of art by the artist, signed by him. That's what you bought, that piece of paper. You didn't buy that actual portrait. Now, in real life, the portrait comes with the paper. And in the NFT space, they do give you the picture that unique code is attached to. But that picture itself is worthless because you literally could just like copy, paste, or save as the picture. It's this unique coding that goes along with it, which is why there are good uses of it within a game for trading. Like if TF2 wanted to do something like that, and they kind of already do, so there's no need for NFT in this space. The Steam market space allows you to trade drops for money, right? Steam is already doing this. They don't need some blockchain technology to do it for them.
Yeah. But see, here's the analogy for Gamotron, because she said she could wear that receipt if she went to a different museum. It would be like if you bought an piece of artwork and you hung it up in a museum and you say, yeah, I own this. But you went to another museum, they wouldn't necessarily also have a copy of that same art that you bought from the museum over here.
Yeah, you just be walking around.
You could show them the receipt, but like nobody's going to know what the hell you're talking about.
Yeah, they don't even know what it looks like. It's like, I mean, I'm sure it's an impressive piece, but I cannot tell from your deed of ownership.
Yeah, exactly. You'd have to go over to that museum, which is basically the game that you bought it at.
You take a picture of your artwork, which is the same as taking a screenshot of it to show them the artwork at a distance.
Yeah, there you go. But, it's also up in public, so anybody can take a picture of
Yeah.
it. And then show it off on Twitter.
That's why museums have guards that try to they can't really stop you. It's not like they could take your phone from you, but they yell at you and even kick you out if you start taking pictures in museums.
Yeah.
So everybody's always sneaky about it.
Yeah, you could wear a picture of the token basically in other games, I suppose.
Yeah. Now TF2 makes it easy. Once you have the thing from the other game, you could just upload the rastered version of it as a spray in TF2 and just put that on the wall. That's the closest you're going to get. Let's see. Oh yeah, Konami is getting into it too.
Yeah.
This month with a set of Castlevania themed NFTs. And this is actually where you show what all these companies mean by NFTs, is because Konami, who is just a holdings company, people don't realize this about Konami. Konami is a holdings company. They are an investment firm. They move money around. That's how they make money. That's all they care about, is making money from moving around money. That's why they went into freaking pachinko machines with Castlevania instead of making more games. So this is the forerunner of, if Konami's going to dip their foot into it first, this is what everybody's going to do until it blows up on somebody. So hopefully it'll blow up on Konami enough that other people maybe we'll do something else with it. Yeah, so these Castlevania NFTs, maybe I'll even pull it up. They are literally just pictures. They're I think they come with songs sometimes, so at least maybe you'll get an MP3 with it. They look like album art, but they're literally just square pictures that go along with it'll have the song name, Castlevania Vampire Killer, right? Where's the browser resource so I could show people what I'm talking about?
But who would? It's not original. It's just existing stuff. So it's and you don't get the copyright to it.
Nope.
You don't get anything. So it's this seems pointless.
Yep. Well, this is what everybody was talking. This is what we've been talking about. This is what people don't understand about what's going on with NFTs right now. You don't actually own anything except for a unique fingerprint, I guess is the best way to say it. The unique chain of code, the lines of code that go with this on the blockchain. All you own is a fingerprint.
Yeah.
And everybody can have the exact same finger, but the fingerprint is different. That's the only thing that's different about it. But your finger's not unique. Everyone's got a finger. These are the things. It's literally just album art. That's it. And not even good ones. Some of it's just a screenshot from the game with a logo and the word for the song put over it and shit like that.
So
now this is going to be on OpenSea. Probably because a lot of these companies, they don't have marketplaces yet. But then if GameStop starts getting it as a marketplace, why would any of these people put their stuff on OpenSea when all these big companies who are already partnered with GameStop as a distributor will just start putting all their NFTs on GameStop, who then GameStop will make money as a middleman. This is where it all comes full circle.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of being this rich user-generated experience where people can freely exchange assets like money, it's going to go back into the hands of corporate. And people are going to fall for it because they just see the word NFT. It's well, it must be valuable. It's no, this stuff they're selling you literally has no value.
How is it getting back in the hands of the corporation?
Well, because just in this case, right? So these are established brand names. So just like how with NFTs, somebody who's an established name is where all of the finances go to. Doug TenNapel makes a lot of money because Doug TenNapel is an established name, and people want NFTs by Doug TenNapel, right? So the average person recognizes a name like Konami, or they recognize a name like what was one the other, EA, right, or Take-Two, because they'll recognize Rockstar and GTA. So a lot of people will spend their money on these as opposed to some other artists, which again, I'm still not down with NFTs being for art because you're not getting anything out of it really. But just in this case, right, they're going to prioritize the no name because that's just how people think, right? It's an appeal to authority in a way, appeal to popularity. And that means in this case, once the exchange gets back onto GameStop and people see it's an NFT by a known name, once GameStop starts the exchange, then GameStop will be taking the cut instead of OpenSea's. And everybody will be paying into GameStop and into these larger corporations. And then the money will start circulating back into them in the same way that it's been.
GameStop's making their own exchange?
That's what GameStop's going to do, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Interesting.
Well, because OpenSea isn't the only exchange for NFTs out there already.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And GameStop is a marketplace. So if they're getting into NFTs, why would they not do it as a marketplace? That's what their business is.
Man, I don't know if GameStop has the wherewithal to.
Oh, of course they don't.
For that to be successful. I mean, have you seen GameStop's executive board lately?
Yeah.
They're fucking clueless. Like, I don't know what the hell they're doing. How are they going to have the technical expertise?
This year, they did put Reggie on the board of representatives. So,
but he left. I thought.
Oh, did he already leave?
Is he still on the board?
I didn't see that. Did he leave?
I thought he did.
Because that was within the last year. I mean, if he left fast.
I could be wrong.
I did not see that. He might have left. I didn't see it.
I might not know what I'm talking about.
But it was after they had a big controversy, but then there was the whole GameStocks thing. They put quite a few different people onto the board to change things around for good faith, right?
Mm-hmm.
In fact, the Reggie thing, the thing I attribute to the initial rise in the GameStocks before the whole stonks thing happened, right? Because there was already starting to peak up, and that's when Wall Street's bets started hopping on it because it seemed like a good commodity, right? That's usually how they do it. And the initial rise is they put somebody like Reggie on it, and all this stuff was always speculation of, well, then he's going to start making good decisions and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Reggie Fils-Aimé was added to the GameStop board of directors in March 2020, and he left in June 2021.
Oh, okay, so he's only there for a year.
So, yeah.
I didn't see the June leave one.
Yeah, and I don't know that they've done. It seemed to me like when the whole GameStop thing happened that they were. I didn't see anything that they were doing to capitalize on the situation. They could have. Their stocks. They could have done a stock sale or something like that to get more money.
Instead, they
to
were
do
just
something.
Worried about making sure that their brand was stable, right? So they put the final order that in Canada it had still been Electronic Boutique, EB Games, for the longest time. They never killed it out there just because that brand was more popular. But then they set the orders all EB Games are going to be GameStop in Canada. I think Game is slowly going to be transitioning into GameStop over in Europe as well because it's owned by the same company, and they're just unifying that it's going to be GameStop everywhere now. That's what they decided to do. It's clearly people like the brand. It's no, that's not the case. And I think that's why they're getting into NFTs. In many ways, right, as a marketplace, but also probably selling their own because they think people like the brand. Just that's why they bought ThinkGeek, not because they thought ThinkGeek's individual merchandise was good because it mostly pulls things from other places, but because they think people like the brand. That's how these people think. It's all about the brand. Yeah.
Meanwhile, AMC was smart. They sold. Well, when they were also one of the meme stocks that went through the roof, and when that happened, they sold off a bunch more stock. Now, since the price was so high, and they went and they made millions and millions when that happened, and they went and they folded that back into completely redesigning and redoing their theaters.
Oh,
and yeah, they were like, "Oh, look at this!" And they had this whole. They were like all on board. You didn't know this was happening. Like
well, no,
they were.
I had not been following the AMC stuff very closely at all.
Yeah, like it, and I don't know how they did this exactly, but basically, if you went to a movie theater, AMC movie theater, with some sort of proof that you bought some of their stock last year, they would give you like free popcorn and stuff like that. They like had this whole promotion of buy our stock and we'll give you free popcorn. And I have to say, there's an AMC right down the street from me that they completely redid this year. And I went to that one to see Dune and the new Spider-Man movie. Oh my God, it's beautiful. Like they have it's like the Alamo Draft House. You go in, there's like tables and all the seats. You can order food. They'll bring food into you.
So that's what I was going to ask, right? Because there's been a big discrepancy, right? There's AMCs in the area that you wanted to go to, and there's AMCs in this area that you didn't want to, right? And it's like some of them, one of them that I used to live next to already had that type of seating and stuff like that for a long time.
Yeah.
But it's also like the only one in 10 miles. So everybody goes to that one, as opposed to like the one at my local mall, which there's like 1 in 5 miles in each direction next to it. It still had like traditional folding stadium style seating. Is like, hopefully they use that to clean up all of the older models that they haven't touched in a long time.
I'm guessing, yeah, because I'm pretty sure the one that I went to wasn't like that a year ago. I'm pretty sure that was one of the remodeled ones. But yeah, so I'm pretty sure I guess they already were doing that, but then they just accelerated it and tried to.
Yeah, hopefully.
So I don't know if all AMC theaters are upgraded yet, but yeah, they were all on board. They were like, "Ooh, look at our stock."
So the thing is, I don't know if they were doing that, right? And this is why they've been renovating, because the one that I said that has the seating like that is a newer AMC, so it was built that way, right? So it's not like they renovated it to that.
Yeah. At least that's what I heard, was that they were folding all that money back into renovating. So yeah, and the one that I've been to recently is like beautiful. It's so nice.
GMT, I get the Futurama reference, but I don't think you're thinking of a cinema. If you're building one with blackjack and hookers, that is a casino. Some of them do play shows in them.
Yes. Probably illegal unless you live in Nevada.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, it depends. There are casinos other places that aren't on reservations.
But not with hookers.
Well, I mean, technically the hookers are illegal in Nevada too. Paradise just has its own. It's a private city, right? That's the thing about it. So it skirts the laws very easily.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're technically illegal in Las Vegas. But someone brought up, GMT. Did we talk about the Tolkien Society thing last?
Yeah, we did.
On Wednesday?
We did talk about
did.
Tolkien. Okay. Yeah, we did.
Yeah. But that would have been smarter, because they bought a bunch of artwork or pictures for like 25. Yeah, for 25,000 British pounds. They bought like 6 pieces of art or photographs, and it's just as worthless as NFTs, because people are just sharing that on Twitter, and they're going nuts.
See, I wouldn't support a blackjack cinema, unless I wouldn't support it with traditional blackjack. It'd be too distracting to the movie, right? Like having like the table seating, which it'd be fine, because everybody could face the screen, because the employee that works there could face away from the movie. They don't have to watch it. They've probably seen this movie 100 times by that time. But I think just the whole setup of it, you wouldn't be able to fit a lot of people in it. It'd be very distracting to the movie itself. But if your came with a digital blackjack pedestal, like you know how we have the tables for seating, if there was like on the arm a digital like screen that you could play blackjack while watching the movie, low lit with one of the screens that you can really only see from certain angles, so that you're not bothering the people behind you with your screen, it's only yours, that'd be fine. it can randomly assign you to people in your section or whatever, or between games you could hop between virtual tables. I'd be fine with a digital blackjack machine.
Sorry, I had to hack up a lung there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a good idea to have people playing blackjack at the same time as they're watching movies.
Yeah, because are you going to pay attention to the movie? Sounds like a waste. No.
If you're paying attention to the movie, you're not going to be paying attention to the blackjack.
Right. So if you are going for blackjack specifically, like to a casino, and there are movies playing on screens in the background, older ones, so it's not like you're paying for it, that's a different story, because you've probably already seen the movie. It's nice to have some entertainment buzzing around, but like you wouldn't want to go to the cinema to see a new film and be distracted by blackjack. Like adjustable beds, though, you'd probably fall asleep. People already fall asleep in movie theaters. Do you really want to fall asleep in a bed?
You know, the last time I actually fell asleep in a movie theater was at The Usual Suspects.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but I found that movie so boring, I actually fell asleep and missed the whole thing.
Last time I fell asleep was the remake to Total Recall. I don't inherently blame the movie. I think I didn't sleep the night before. It was one of those nights, and like I was busy working on a page or whatever, and I was staying with Travis's family, right? Buck's family, people who know him by his nickname. And they were just like, "Hey, we're going out to Total Recall. You want to go with us?" And I looked at the clock, I looked at the bed, and like, sure, why not? But I did find the remake boring all the same. I don't know if I would have fell asleep if I got proper sleep the night before, but it still boring enough I could see somebody falling asleep.
Yeah. GMT says, you're so sexist, marsupial men can multitask too. No, actually nobody can multitask.
No.
Literally nobody.
You might be able to in the future.
Women, men.
Yeah, right. The Neuralink type stuff. Like if people want to become cyborgs, they might be able to multitask. But what you see as multitasking now are pre-programmed routines. You become so adjusted to something that you can kind of run it on autopilot while doing something else.
Yeah.
Just like playing an instrument.
You can context switch.
Yeah.
But you can't actually multitask.
You're really just juggling. So there's a better term for it.
Yeah. So who else is getting into NFTs? Anyone else, or was that it?
That was the last one I had. I thought before we started going on the AMC thing, when you first mentioned, like, oh my god, is AMC getting into NFTs too?
Oh, no. I was just thinking about it in terms of the GameStop. GameStop stock. and the fact that, as far as I know, I mean, they must have done something, but like at the time, I was like, man, GameStop could be totally revamping. I mean, their stock went through the fucking roof. Wasn't it like $30 and it went up to like $500?
Don't remember, but it was something extreme like that. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, God damn, they could be selling that and doing something with the money, revamping their stores, fucking paying their goddamn employees.
No, I can totally do that, but like, that's not multitasking. Those are two like adjusted routines that you are used to. You know, that literally is not multitasking. Because Josh was like, Joshua Metal can't rub his belly and pat his head at the same time. It's like, no, that's easy, but it's not multitasking. Yeah. Sorry.
Indeed.
I got really good at running multiple routines at the same time. Back when I was practicing Taekwondo as a kid, to be able to teach you to spar well, my instructor would have us doing circles, right? They would have to do a circle with one hand when the opposite circle with the opposite foot, so that you could like learn how to block and strike at the same time, so you could do like counter moves and stuff. Martial arts in the actual sparring is a lot about running multiple routines at once and kind of just getting everything down to instinct, so you don't have to think about it and can actually focus on what your opponent is doing.
Mm-hmm. And muscle memory.
Yeah.
Right. Now they're talking about me rubbing your belly and
No
you
need.
patting your own head or something. I can't reach him over there.
No,
Wait, no,
no,
you're over
no.
here, right?
I'm in a TV. You can't reach me anyway.
Yeah.
Sound
I
awkward.
can
People
rub
only
the side
listening.
of your TV.
Right, like people only, like, what do you mean he's in a TV and they don't see the live show? They're just listening later. It's like, yes, my webcam has like a TV filter on it.
Yeah. GMT says, Metal, you should take up juggle battling.
I don't know what that is, but if you can mix
hard to
martial
say.
arts into it, I'll do it.
Juggle battle.
Yeah. But hey, you know what? We don't have much news on what this is going to be. But there is a new multiplayer South Park game coming from Blackout Club Studios. And there hasn't been a
Club.
yeah. And I'm not actually familiar with what they've done. I think they've done, let's see. From the Blackout Club studio. So the studio's name is Question. The Blackout Club is a game, which is a co-op horror game with a story that features live, sometimes unexpected performances from a cast of voice actors. Okay, that's interesting. But yeah, they're making a co-op, or not a co-op, but a multiplayer South Park game. There might be co-op in it, which is interesting because there hasn't been a multiplayer South Park game, as far as I know, since like the N64. And that's when everybody was doing like those weird 3D model games. Because there was a South Park game on the N64.
There was?
Yeah, I think it was the N64. It was a really old game.
This is coming out on the PS5.
Yeah. Yeah, it was on 64 and PlayStation, the old one, and it was like done with 3D models. Which I hope this game doesn't do it. Modern games, it's really easy to translate, like, do just to way both model and just meshing works in modern games, making something look like a cartoon. We've seen both of the recent South Park games look like South Park. Cuphead looks like an old cartoon. Like, it's easy to make a cartoon-looking game now. Way Forward's been kind of doing it for a while with how they revamp Shantae and all the other games that they do. So I hope that's the direction they go with this. Mm-hmm. But the last few South Park games I like, but they've been turn-based RPGs, and I really like South Park as a property. I'd like to see it done in different ways. Hopefully this won't be a experimental first-person game like the other stuff they've done. That would be weird though. Could you imagine walking around the town of South Park in first person? So like you don't see your character, but everything's just like this like construction paper pop-up walking around town. That would be an interesting experience. I kind of cringed when I first thought of it, but the more I think about it, I'd be down for it, actually. I would like to see South Park in first person. It would be the weirdest experience ever. I flipped on that within a matter of seconds. I'm not sure I want to see it.
I've never played. Yeah. I've never played any of the South Park games, so I don't know exactly what they usually entail. Like, I can't even envision. It depends.
Yeah. So like the original South Park game was very much in line with like actually it was technically a first-person shooter. I think was it no a third-person shooter where they were like using like slingshots and shit like that. But it was like in the Simpsons hit and run like era of games. It was that type of thing. You were just running around as the kids. The last two, because there's very few South Park games, period. Right? There was like the PlayStation/N64 one. I don't know if there was ever another one in between, and then it goes all the way to the RPGs that were made within this last decade. But the Stick of Truth is a really fun game. I recommend it. You like Super Mario RPG, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Which did you start
Very
playing
much.
Paper Mario?
Yes.
Yeah.
I have.
So it's that kind of game.
A little bit.
That's what Stick of Truth is. It's a Mario RPG. You even have like the whole, when they attack you, you can hit the action command to try to like reduce the damage if you time it right. You can get bonus damage
Oh,
on
that's cool.
dudes too. You have your own creative character because you're the new kid. But then your partners are all the South Park games. You have one partner at a time who has a special ability. It is genuinely just like a Mario RPG, Paper Mario type game in the South Park setting.
Oh, okay.
It is one of my favorite.
Yeah, I heard that it
games.
was.
I can't recommend it enough.
Yeah, I heard it was an RPG, but I was like, I don't understand.
Yeah. And then Fractured Butthole kind of takes the same combat style, but then also makes movement or like placement viable. So there's like a grid where the things are, and depending on what square you're in, will depend on like what you do. So it kind of almost mixes a little Chrono Trigger in there, I guess is a good way to say it. I don't think it's as mechanically solid as the first one or storytelling, but it's got a lot of cool features and it's still a good game. But I both South Park RPGs highly recommended to people who enjoy Mario style RPGs.
Yeah.
Butters is the best partner. I fully agree with that. Especially like, so what Butters does is, Butters is a paladin. Because Stick of Truth, they're LARPing. So it's all like classic classes and stuff like that. Butters is a paladin. He has an actual like claw hammer. Or either claw hammer or a mallet. I don't remember what he's got in hand, but he's got like an actual freaking tool, like a hammer in his hand that he beats people with while LARPing, which is not what you should do. And he like does a spinning Thor style hammer swing, and he just hammer tosses like an actual Olympic hammer toss the hammer into somebody. But the best part about it is if you're hurt, you get like a free partner move every single turn. And for Butters' move, he comes over and he hugs you and he pats you on the back and he goes, there, little buddy. And he gives you healing for doing that. He just comes over and gives you a pat on the back. He's the best partner. But Butters is also one of the best characters in South Park, period. So, nobody beats Butters. And he apologizes after he hits somebody in the head with a hammer. It's like, oh, I'm sorry.
Interesting.
It's a fun game. It literally just feels like you're playing a few episodes of South Park, like a condensed season, all in a game.
Yeah.
It's got giant aborted Nazi fetuses, Nazi zombies. There's a Nazi zombie outbreak where if you get bit by them, you turn into a Nazi zombie. There's aliens. The underpants gnomes are there. You go down to the sewer, do stuff with Mr. Hanky. There's all kinds of just fun stuff. Al Gore's there. There's a little side quest with him. You go to Canada, which is really fun. When you go to Canada, everything's like you run around in a Zelda 2 style 8-bit map, and you have to avoid getting into battles with like dire bears and dire wolves. It's a really fun game. Like, it is great.
Are Terrence and Phillip in it?
Yes.
And you're in Canada?
Because farting is like, so Skyrim was like the big thing when that came out, right? And Stick of Truth was kind of like playing on the like Game of Thrones thing. There was a Game of Thrones like 3 episodes for Black Friday and stuff like that. And Stick of Truth was like using that LARPing game, but they turned it into its own story that was completely separate from that. And they started involving a lot of Skyrim stuff. So you're kind of like the Dovahkiin, but instead of shouts, you learn farts because it's South Park. And Terrence and Phillip teach you the most devastating fart of them all. which is basically like the nuke fart. It's great. This game is amazing. It's critically acclaimed too. Like, I don't have to be the one that sells this game to people, but a lot of people just still don't know what it is, so I'm trying to sell it to people. I'll replay that game again. Like, I've already beaten it a few times. It's a fun game. It's a fast game. Like, you can spend a lot of time in it, but you can also get through it really fast too. Like, it's a great game. I can't say enough about it.
Apparently, it's available on the Switch.
Yeah, it is.
Interesting.
And it's not like an extremely, like, it can get easy. You can easily, you can theory craft and kind of like break the game. I have no problem doing literally anything in the game because I figured out how to break it. But it's not exactly, yes, the Nagasaki fart. It's not exactly the an easy game either, right? Like, it doesn't hold your hand. You still have to do the battles. I've seen people lose fights. You have to think and use your head. But once you understand like how certain mechanics work, you're like, okay, I can break this game. And then you never lose a fight again after that.
Yeah. GMT says she's imagining, I used to be an adventurer like you, but then I took an arrow to the ass. There you go.
Yeah. But I think that's also the best part is like anybody could make a Paper Mario or like Mario RPG style game. It's possible. I like those games. I wouldn't mind making one myself. But the thing that makes this game so good is that it is literally written by the people who write South Park. So it's got all of the humor and character that South Park has. Jimmy's a bard. Because why wouldn't he be? Stuttering through his performances. You know? Like,
yeah.
Cartman is an asshole wizard. It's like everything about it's great.
Can I show you something?
Yes.
That I definitely need in my life right now? There's something coming out that I need. And there it is.
Let me see.
Jigglypuff Converse.
Oh. That's actually pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie.
Converse is coming out with Pokemon shoes. There's Pikachu.
Yo, I like those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's looks like Pikachu and what is that? Gen 3 starters?
Let me look in closer. It's not
Gen 2
on my screen. There's a Mudkip and a Trico and a Torchic, so that is Hoenn. So Gen 3.
Which generation is that? Gen 3, I was right. That looks like Gen 2.
It's blurry, but probably. Was it like Torch or no? It's Cyndaquil.
Yes.
Chikorita, Totodile. Yeah, that's Gen 2.
Yeah.
I can barely see it. Some of this is blurry.
Yeah, I'm not sure. This one looks like there's a monkey, so maybe this Gen
Chimchar?
4. Yeah, and the bunny rabbit. Forget what the bunny rabbit's called. The flamey rabbit.
No. The bunny rabbit. There's the other monkey, Groki. I mean, there's been 2 starter monkeys. That's going to be Sword and Shield. That's Gen 7.
Oh, there you go. Here's the one with the Piplup.
Oh, let me.
I think.
Real quick.
Whoa, that was loud.
Oh, I'm sorry. I had to reset the interface. Everything was starting to just like crumble. Yeah. But what did you say it was again?
Anyway, the one with the seal, the Pip. Is it Piplup or
Poplio?
something?
Poplio. That is black and white. I think that's Gen 5.
Okay. And then here's this one looks pretty cool with Meowth.
Oh, that's like a Team Rocket. Oh, I would wear those with the actual All-Star logo into the Pokeball. I like All-Stars.
Yeah.
My dad likes All-Stars.
Chuck Taylor.
Yeah.
Here's one with the original starters.
Yeah. I'd get those.
And here's one that's white with black outlines.
I like the Chucks. Chucks are good.
Yeah. Although, wait a minute. What is this thing? What is this Pokeball on the side that's kind of sticking out?
I don't know.
That's kind of cool.
I mean, that's kind of usually where you put like the All-Star logo and stuff for Chucks.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
That's probably just there to be there.
And one for little kids. So yes, Converse All-Stars or Converse is teaming up with Pokemon. And I like these ones probably. Yeah. Lots of different designs, lots of different generations, so pick and choose.
Yeah, I really like the like ebony cracked ones here. Those are cool. For the lightning is the cracks. I like that. And I liked the Chucks with the Meowth on it. Those were pretty good.
Yeah. Oh, is this one? Yeah, okay. I like the gray ones too. This one.
Yeah.
Meowth. Cool stuff. I don't know when. I'll have to hold on. I'll stop. Let me stop sharing
that's
for a second.
Typically, what the white ones are, they a lot of people take markers to them and stuff like felt tips, and you can actually color your own shoes. That's been something that Converse has done for a long time because the Converse shoes are made of canvas, so you actually can decorate them. A lot of people get plain white Converse so they can do whatever they want with them.
Oh my gosh, it's live today.
Oh,
so
cool.
as of yesterday, this article came out. You can order Converse's Pokemon collection.
Yeah, you hear that whether you're watching live or if you hear this later on in the evening. You can order them as soon as you hear this.
Yeah, unless they're sold out, which they probably are.
We're not even sponsored.
Who knows?
I just think it's really fucking cool.
I can tell you that.
No, I would totally take a sponsorship from Pokemon.
Oh man.
Of all people, if Pokemon ever gave me a sponsorship, I'd take it. I'd still shit talk them for everything they're doing with the modern games, but I would fucking take it.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you that the Chucks with the Meowth is sold out.
Oh, damn. Obviously, because that's the coolest one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The white one with the black outlines of all the different Pokemons, that one's sold out.
Ones,
and
of course.
And the little baby Pikachu for kids one is sold out. But other than that, there's a cool one that's gray, and there's lots of others that are still available. So
yeah, but the coolest one is gone.
Well, no, wait a minute. The one that you liked, that the dark gray with Pikachu and the lightning on the side, that one's still available.
Yeah, it's the second coolest one, but the Chucks are gone. The Chucks.
Well, no, wait a minute. I don't know. Check it out on Converse.com. It looks like they're coming in and out, so we'll have to see what's available.
If it's a long-term partnership, there probably will be more availability later. I doubt it's going to be a one-time thing. They'll probably do several limited prints.
Is Converse based in Europe?
Are they? I thought that was an American company. I don't know.
For some reason, all the prices I'm seeing are in euros, so that's a little disconcerting. But
if they
it's only available in Europe.
Maybe. No, they're Boston, Massachusetts.
But maybe the Pokemon shoes are only available in Europe.
Garbage.
They
might do limited prints, and they're doing it an area by area basis first, right? Like,
no. I take that back. They're available. It just for some reason the link on that article took me to the European site.
Oh, okay.
So, but yeah, they are available in the U.S.
Cool, because that would have been garbage if it was only available in Europe. I mean, I would be upset if it was only available the other way around too. We're blessed being in the States where like most marketing is targeted towards us, but it's like, especially being a fan of Final Fantasy, I feel for Europeans that didn't get to play the game until like 7. It's like it sucks when something that popular, Pokemon's the most popular thing, like ever,
Yeah.
If aliens came to our planet and they thought, like, what is your world religion? They'd probably assume it's Pokemon. It sucks when something's only localized to a certain area. It's like, well, you can't get it. Sorry.
Yeah. We'll have to look at that because, I mean, honestly, I'm actually, I need to get new shoes anyway. My shoes are kind of worn out, so.
Yeah. I probably
maybe I'll get some Converse.
I think I've had these
and they're not like
2 years now.
They're not like super expensive either. I mean, for shoes, $70-$90.
Well, I mean, they're Converse, like.
Yeah.
Though for me,
I
think the most I've ever spent on shoes, and I was killing myself when I found out they cost that much, was for Nike Revolution 2, which was probably my favorite shoe I've had in a while because they were the only sneakers I could find that were actually running shoes and not chunks of plastic. They cost like $65. I'm like, what the fuck? Paying $60 for shoes? I'm used to paying $20 for shoes. When did shoes get so fucking expensive?
On the other hand, I got a gift certificate to New Balance for Christmas, so I guess I should go to the New Balance store and get shoes there.
But do they have Pokemon Chucks? I don't think so.
They do not. They do not.
Well.
So, another thing I'm looking into.
Yeah.
Have you heard of Jewel Coin? Speaking of crypto.
No,
NFTs.
Not at all. Sounds like
somebody. It does. Apparently, Lofty Pixels on Twitter was saying that he bought an NFT with Jewel Coin that's tied somehow to an online game called DeFi Kingdoms.
Don't know what that is.
And apparently, well, I'll have to look into it and report back later, but apparently you can make money from it, real money. You buy these NFT characters and they fight or do something and earn money.
Yeah, see, this is actually the part of the future that I'm worried about when it comes to the newer generations that are coming along. Because, I mean, we've memed about, you'll live in the pod, you'll eat the bugs and stuff like that. But that's actually like, we were looking at the metaverse stuff now, which really isn't a metaverse by definition because that comes from a novel from like, I think is it 60s or 70s? I don't remember. But it's like one of the older dystopian future type novels. And a metaverse is actually a decentralized thing. So like blockchain would be good for making an actual metaverse. And the whole thing, it was kind of like Ready Player One, way before Ready Player One, where somebody was trying to take over the metaverse and solidify it into a centralized platform. These things are just like centralized platforms that they call metaverses, while by definition they aren't. But what they want you to do is they want to have pay to earn or play to earn, right? That's their platform. And they want to basically lock you in the metaverse for as long as possible, like get you addicted to it, and just have you playing games which to you are fun, but by playing it, you're actually running subroutines, and you'll be earning money from the work of playing games, and you'll just be captive for long periods of time. So, yeah.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I thought I'd look into it because he's sitting here claiming he has a buddy that's earning $500 a week from this thing. I'm like, what the hell is this? But, yeah, I didn't know if you'd heard of it, but...
Nope.
I don't know enough about it yet to really comment.
I just know
it seems like a little sketchy.
Type of shit that I'm worried about.
Yeah. Something, Jewel, token, DeFi, Kingdom, something.
Yeah.
We'll find out about it next time.
Yeah, I guess we will. Because it's about time to end the show.
Can I say one more thing?
Is it going to be about the boomerang box, or do you have something else to say?
No, about the show. About this show.
You can't say anything about this show.
I recently went on to Apple Podcasts and subscribed to the Vomitorium.
Yes, we've been on there this whole time.
I know, but I just happen to, since I
Yeah.
catch most of the shows, I don't really have a reason to download it myself. But I did actually subscribe to it, and you can actually listen to it if you hook up, wireless headphones to your iPhone. You can basically listen to it on your iWatch or whatever, Apple
or
Watch, if
in
you
your
have
car while you're riding along or whatever.
Yeah.
That's a good way to do it.
or on Android, obviously. But
if you do, be sure to rate the show, because positive ratings go a long way.
Yeah. So we're available. Where all are we available? At least besides Apple Podcasts.
Let's see. We are in Apple. We're Google Podcasts, Stitcher, if that's still around, Spotify. You go to SoundCloud, which is where the RSS feed actually comes from. Might be 2 or 3 more that I'm forgetting off the top of my head. And that's just in the listening form. There's like 6 or 7 places you can listen to it. You can also just, catch the VODs or live on YouTube, only live on Twitch. I don't bother to do the VODs over there. That is just a live experience. And same with D Live. You can catch it live there. Or on, Twitter now. You can just go and watch us live or rewatch it there, because I think that just stays up.
Indeed.
Yeah. Wherever
we should look into adding Getter.
Oh, yes. I think they allow you to put a key directly in there, so I might be able to just do like an TMP forward from Restream. But Restream doesn't support Getter. It's too new. They don't have support for it yet.
Right. GMT says Audible.
Did Audible do podcasts? Oh, actually, there's another one for forgetting. Amazon podcasts. We're on Amazon as well. I have it set up there. And Facebook actually now, the page has audio podcasts. Facebook has a podcast section now, and we are automatically put up there. And as soon as the RSS feed scrolls it, there's a notification that goes. So if you're one of those weird people that like the dystopian future of Facebook, you can listen to us there.
Cool. Yeah. Well, that's all I had to say.
Yeah. I knew I was forgetting 1 or 2. It was Amazon and Facebook. We're everywhere. We're fucking everywhere. And where we're probably going to be soon, I don't know if it's already started or not, because he was supposed to go live half an hour ago. But John Dillard, he's a guest regular friend of the show, been on here several times. Boomerang Box is finally coming through. If you followed, both Marsupial and I have contributed to the Boomerang Box. And it's supposed to be, I think, picking the prize winner today. So we're probably going to go there immediately after leaving here if it's running. So, yeah, head over to Dillard Draws channel on YouTube.
See ya.
Yeah. Well, I would say see ya, but also be sure to share this show with other people who might enjoy it, because that's important. And if you really enjoy the show, consider giving a donation to streamlabs.com/vomitorium live. Especially because any amount of money that can go towards the hosting fees here also means less money I have to spend while I'm saving up for a new scanner on the side, because my scanner died. Now, we'll see you guys in the next episode.
See ya.
Bye.